Why don't you come into our monster vault? Welcome to Monster Vault. This is Ripley. And this is Crandall.
Hello.
Hello, Crandall.
Hi.
We're back. It's been a long time.
Well, not to them.
To them, it'll seem like there was a long time in between two episodes and then another episode and another episode.
Little do they know.
And then this came out. It took a while. And there's a storm tonight.
It's a blizzard.
Yeah, you can't even see out the windows.
It's a straight up blizzard, yeah. It's
wow.
a nor'easter.
Mm-hmm. Canada. It's stormy. And today we're doing Nosferatu, continuing our vampire series. We did Dracula last episode, so this time we're going back farther to the first vampire movie, I guess, Nosferatu. 1922, so 100 years ago. That's kind of weird.
That is weird.
And when they were doing later on in the movie, we'll get into that part later, but anyway. Later on during the movie, they're talking about, oh, and then the plague ended once the vampire was killed. And it was like, oh man, that's dark. That's really weird. Because we're still in the middle of the pandemic.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, it felt a little COVID-y.
Yes.
When the plague started to roll through. I was like, oh, it's too real.
But of course, in the movie, it's the vampire killing people, but it's the plague, they think. But I wasn't thrilled by this movie. It did not charm me like The Golden did. And we like black and white movies. We'll enjoy a black and white movie. There's nothing wrong with black and white movies. There's nothing wrong with a silent movie either. But this one, not thrilled by it.
Look,
what do you think?
Would I ever watch it again? Probably not.
No.
Am I sad that I watched it? No. It was fine. Would I recommend someone watching it? If you really like movies.
I mean, you have to watch it.
It wasn't bad. Like, I wasn't like, oh my god, I have to stop watching this.
No, there was no point where you're like, oh, I wish we didn't have to watch this. It wasn't bad. But it wasn't great.
It's fine.
Not for Roger. But we got a couple of good ones coming up, so let's go through it. Run the numbers. This is Monster Vault, where we talk about monsters and give them scores.
We didn't even say what we do.
Well, who's going to jump in the middle?
It's been a while.
Just not know what's going on. But yep, we're going to score this monster Nosferatu, and I didn't want to talk about it too much just because I don't want to bag on it too hard, but it's just not that thrilling. What's way better is that Shadow of the Vampire movie about the shooting of this with, it's a good movie.
Sure.
We'll watch that instead. And housekeeping. Ooh, housekeeping. Housekeeping. The art show is over. Ta-da.
Etc.
That was news last time we did the episode, but it's now over. And, yeah, they're all coming home. Boo.
Thanks a lot, guys. You really let us down.
Oh, it was a pandemic.
We're so sad.
It is the middle of a pandemic, but thank you very much, Art Center, for putting up the show. Excellent time. And nothing else too exciting going on anywhere else. The website's still spookyroomproductions.com, but there's nothing going on there right now.
Actually, we've had a lot of emails about why I wear this mask.
Oh.
So I'm just going to say it. I don't have to just keep telling everyone over and over. It was a joke that became real.
Well, there you go. That is in-depth.
It's the truth.
The game's coming along. More illustrations are happening, but you're not going to see that for a while. So we're not going to talk about Concordia. So we'll get right to it. Monster intro. Nosferatu. Woo! So he's a vampire. And Nosferatu is supposed to be the Dracula story, but with all of the trademark type info scrubbed out. So instead of Renfield, we have the estate agent.
Knock.
Or the, was he an estate agent or what do you call it? Real estate.
Yeah. His name is Knock.
And he sent out, instead of Parker, he sent out... What's his name?
Butter?
Hutter. Hutter.
Not Butter.
Yes.
Looks like Butter.
But I'm assuming these are all just German names, so they seem strange to us, but I'm sure they're quite normal. And they rearrange a lot of the story and just sort of mash it together. But really, when we watched the Dracula, they did a lot of that too. It's not very close to the original story, so there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. But that real estate agent, he was weird. He was a weird character.
Yeah.
Did you think they were trying to do something there? Because he was more
no
monstrous
idea.
than Nosferatu was.
For sure.
He even had like filed down pointy teeth and everything and a humpback. It was very bad. And then he's reading that letter from Nosferatu and it's just all a bunch of weird occult text.
Yes, I didn't really get that.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what they were trying to do there, but there it is. So he sent him off to go find the Count Orlok, which is the name of the vampire. I don't think they give him any more of a name than that. He's just Count Orlok.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good little sipper.
What you sipping on tonight, Rip?
Valentine's.
Valentine's. Delicious.
Mm-hmm. So the story is he goes, and then the regular Dracula stuff happens where he's sitting there and the coach comes down. I liked the coach. The coach coming down with Count Orlok riding, because the coach had those little, looked like it had a comforter around it. Those blankets that were around the wheels of the coach for some reason. I don't know if that's a normal thing, but it made it seem a little spookier. And the rest of it is just, wandering around the castle, and then he wanders in and sees the Count Orlok in his coffin. And oh, vampire! He has that little book about vampires that he got from the inn.
And the 7 Deadly Sins.
Mm-hmm. About, what was it? Werewolves, vampires, and the 7 Deadly Sins?
Yeah, that was weird.
Oh, and the werewolf!
Oh, yeah,
They
which
said
was
the-
a hyena. As far as I can
When they
tell.
were at the inn, he said, I have to go up to the castle tonight. He said, you can't go tonight because there's a werewolf wandering the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Which we maybe are supposed to assume is Count Orlok in the guise of a wolf, but this movie is from 1922, so it's a very good chance the audience would have no idea he can turn into a wolf. Maybe they've read the story, but it was not explicitly said, so it might have literally been a werewolf running around as well as a vampire. And then the wolf is a hyena.
Yeah, I was like, is that a hyena? It has stripes
It
on
was
it.
100% a hyena.
Looked like
and
a
I don't know if
hyena.
they were doing that because they're like, this looks like just a really spooky wolf. But it's really just a hyena. Because they thought maybe nobody knew what a hyena was. Or maybe they were just using a lot of stock footage.
I guess it was
like the
before
spider eating
nature.
the fly and a hyena. And then, Count Orlok comes back with his 9 coffins of earth. So he has these coffins and they're full of dirt. And
Yes.
the little book that he had tells people that, get comfy?
Yeah.
The little book that he has tells him that the vampires need their earth, so he understands that. And that little book is actually good for giving up little chunks of dialogue like that actually explain the movie. And then we see Count Orlok goes down the river on a raft, on a cart, and the boxes are never tied down. They never tie down the boxes, they're always jiggling.
That was disturbing. And I thought, well, maybe they're heavy enough where they won't pop off, but I don't know what that would...
But those boxes seem very weak. Everyone keeps hitting them with hammers and destroying them, and when he hits it, the box will fall apart and the rats come out.
Yeah.
Rats!
There's so many rats.
So then the usual thing, he kills all the people on the boat. The boat comes in to the town where he's going to get his little house. And they think it's a plague ship because everyone on it is dead, and they don't know there's a vampire there. And then they show this scene where he picks up his whole coffin under his arm and starts trucking towards his house with it.
He carries that coffin all the way across town.
Right across town, and nobody notices it for one thing.
Well,
And they're shooting day for night, so maybe it was nighttime, but it's still pretty weird to see a person just carrying a coffin like that.
yes.
And we know it's
That's
full
the
of
thing.
dirt.
Yeah, it's full of dirt, so you know it's heavy. So he's very strong.
So at least he's very strong.
He doesn't look very strong.
And then he goes back to his house, and he starts attacking everyone in the village. The villagers think that it's the plague. And then that the plague is also being caused by the real estate agent, so they chase him down. And he's also an escaped lunatic because he went crazy for some reason because of the influence of Count Orlok. They don't make it really clear. Because he's also playing the Renfield character as well as Harker's boss, so he suddenly goes insane under the influence of Count Orlok or something like that. And so they chase him and then put him back in jail?
Yeah.
Because it looked like they were going to lynch him and then they put him back in jail. And then he's there because at the end, yeah. So he lives until the end. And then Mina is reading not the Mina character. What is she, Helen?
Ellen?
Helen? She's reading a little book, and she reads that if a woman sacrifices herself and causes the vampire to be distracted until the sun comes up, then he will die. Which she does, and then the sun comes up, killing him. Which is where the sunlight thing comes from, for killing vampires.
Oh.
That's actually from that story. It's not in the Dracula movie. So I've heard that they did that because they didn't want to do the whole stake through the heart thing for that movie. They were like, oh, it would just be gross. We can't do it. I don't know if that's really the truth, but there you go. So they went with the sunlight thing, and he fades away, and then she's dead because he drank too much blood or something, and we see the Harker substitute crying over her, and that's it. That's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So for details about the Nosferatu, about his makeup and stuff, we'll leave until one of the sections. So we might as well just get into it.
Okay.
Let's see, on the old list, most famous version of the Nosferatu. Oh well, that's this movie. The Nosferatu is like they're doing it more like the original European version instead of the Bram Stoker sexy vampire version. So those were the versions that would just be buried and then creep out and sneak around as basically walking corpses and drink your blood.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the creepier looking one. Where did you first hear about Nosferatu?
Well, I really couldn't pinpoint it, but I can say that it did not come because of my love of horror, but because of my love of movies.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was probably on one of those, like, here's a bunch of movies we talk about for a minute and that are important or good or whatever. You know what I mean? The
Yes.
kind of show.
Mm-hmm.
When that would have been, I don't know. I was probably teens?
Wow.
I have no idea.
For me, it was those, like, books of 101 horror movies. And it would always have, like, you know, a bunch of horror movies, what they were called, what the basic plot was, and then they have a little picture. And you would just go through those books. So Nosferatu was always in those, and you look at the pictures like, oh, this looks like a spooky movie. And when I was a kid, you know, VCRs weren't even around yet.
We know,
when we were
man.
very young. So the chances of seeing any of these movies was what, 0?
Yeah.
I've never seen Dracula, Frankenstein, you know, Werewolf, The Mummy. Seeing any of those original movies, never gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
You were still stuck with what was gonna come into theaters, just like everyone else. And then eventually, even when VHS came out, these didn't really come out. I didn't see them at movie stores or places like that, but they did finally do a DVD collection for the, you know, Dracula, Frankenstein, The Mummy in the, I want to say 2000s. And then we finally saw those. But there's Nosferatu's just been in public domain so long, there's no point in doing it. So now through YouTube, you can watch these movies. You can watch The Golem. You can watch Nosferatu. You don't have to go, I wish I could watch those.
Children, listen.
Mm-hmm.
Rip's trying to tell you something.
Yeah, YouTube. All these old, like, 1920s horror movies are all there. Or you can get them on, like, DVD box sets of, like, 101 horror movies. They're usually in there as well. Although they won't put Nosferatu in there usually. I don't know why.
That's weird.
You won't see that one. You'll see, like, the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari a lot.
Yeah.
Those ones. But for some reason, Nosferatu. And maybe it's just because everybody has it everywhere. History books, movies. Well, this movie was supposed to be Dracula, but the widow of Bram Stoker would not allow it.
Ooh, drama.
And they made the movie anyway because they changed it enough. They thought that they would get away with it, but they did not. She brought a lawsuit and caused every print to be destroyed, except for one that was still in the States where they had different copyright laws. So one of them still existed, and that's the one we get to watch today. Wow. So we get right to the categories?
I'm learning so much today.
I know. This one's zipping right along because I don't want to just bag on it the whole time and say it's crap. Because it did have its moments. Let's get right to the categories. Powers. Theme song. Powers. What powers did he have? Well, somewhat more than normal strength because he could carry that coffin for sure.
Yeah.
But not even like, would he even be Frankenstein level? Like, that's literally all we see for his strength. Like, even when he's overpowering Jonathan, he doesn't, like, throw him to the ground or anything. He sort of, like, wrestles him.
Yeah.
So, superhuman. A 2?
2 for strength? For power? Sorry. Jesus. Sorry, my brother brought me these fat fucking joints for Christmas, and they throw me for a loop. Alright.
I guess there are a few more to go over. He does have, remember when we kept seeing his shadow? And we're like, ooh, spooky shadow.
His shadow
but
makes
he never
bad
appears.
Dreams or something.
So apparently, I guess that shadow is his ethereal mist form.
Okay.
Because you also see the shadow go through a door.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of shadows, there's that one point where someone's being attacked or something, and you see Count Orlok loom over them, and you can see his shadow over them. But I swear it's a cardboard cutout of him. Because they couldn't get the shot just right with him there, so they have a cardboard cutout that they're holding up and showing.
Now, is this real, or are you starting
I don't
a
know,
rumor?
but it sure looks like it. It sure looks like they're holding a cutout in front of the camera. He
could just be very still.
Yeah, it's
he
possible.
Could be that good.
So he's got those mist powers to walk through doors. Pretty good, actually. That's not too shabby.
But what happens with the power? Like, fine, you could do it, but what's the result? Like, why would you do it?
You can get in that room to get at those sexy ladies.
Okay, and do what?
Drink their blood and whatnot.
Oh,
that's what he wants. And then
oh.
escape and whatnot.
Yeah.
So that's not so bad. What else has he got? Maybe he could turn into that wolf? I don't know. It's very vague about that, so we can't give him that. They show rats in his coffins all the time, but it's not him turning into them.
Yeah, I feel like those are like the extra coffin.
Yeah.
Maybe all the rats are to like keep it warm in case he needs the backup coffin.
Exactly.
And he's like, dudes, like just keep it warm.
Maybe rats just really like that vampire coffin dirt.
I feel like they were friends in some way.
Yes.
I never saw him interact with them, but just the fact that they're in his coffins, I feel like, they're friends.
There is that one scene where they're stomping all the rats. And
yes.
Like, I don't know. Are they really stomping rats here? It could be.
Oh, probably.
Because it was the 20s.
Exactly. That's the thing I hate about old movies is that stuff like that, and you're like, come on.
You know what's really happening.
I don't want to see that.
Any other powers? Well, his mind control over the Mina character, Ellen, where remember she's walking around on the balcony? Going,
yes.
Oh,
yeah.
But it doesn't make her do anything interesting.
No, nothing happens.
And unlike the Dracula movies, it doesn't show him controlling her to take off the garlic or open the window or do anything. She just makes her weird. And the same with the real estate agent. He just makes him weird.
Yeah. So I was going to say, what about Knock? I mean, that's what's going on with that. But you're right. It's he does have powers that are enviable in a way, but he doesn't use them properly. Or maybe that's just the limit of the power.
So far, kind of strong. You got the mist form. That could be all that we see. If we're going to go for the movie version of Nosferatu, that would be it. So
that's pretty low.
I'd still only give him like a 2, maybe a 3.
I was gonna say 4.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing is, it doesn't do anything. 3.
Yeah.
I think it's 3.
Yeah.
Because the powers themselves, I guess, are cool, but.
Well, what are you gonna do with it?
Oh, another part of the drinking game I figured out is that whenever I struggle to do basic math, I take a drink. But on that one, I didn't have to because we both said 3.
Mm-hmm. So that's a good one. Yeah. Next category, bar fighting.
Bar fighting.
Does he have his coffin lifting strength?
Yes.
Then I think he. But then when he actually tussles with a person.
Yeah, it's pretty average, right?
Yeah.
And should we describe how he moves? He moves very awkwardly. Like, it doesn't look like he's good at moving. He walks around, and sorry if you people are listening, but he walks around with he's got his shoulders all built up, and his arms just sort of hang, and he sort of...
No, sometimes he walks like this. Little T-Rex.
Yeah, with his little hands up, like a little chipmunk. And when he first came out of that castle, we were all went, wiener walk! Because he just walked out like a little wiener.
He does look like a wiener.
It was very sad. Very sad. So even in bar fighting, I don't know, like, he's low.
But does he have like some kind of rage inside of him that he could explode on someone?
He doesn't seem to.
Listen, no, but Nosferatu's out there drinking. He's had a few drinks. Things are opening up for him.
Loser. Like, as a vampire, such a loser. Just barely could overwhelm people.
Yeah, that's the thing. When he actually does hand-on-hand combat.
He could probably take one guy on, but fighting the whole bar, no.
And honestly, I don't feel like he does have that fire inside of him that could be unleashed.
I feel like one pool cue to the back of the head, he's going down. Someone hit him with a bar stool or something, he's like, just gonna leave. He's gonna take off. I'm giving him a bar fighting 1.
Oh, come on!
He's weak and sad.
Shit. See, I don't want to agree with you every time, but I can't. How can
you fight it?
It's true. Sorry, everyone. No drink.
All the monsters.
The
saddest bar fighter. I would give one of the gremlins a better score on bar fighting. Because they're crazy.
They are crazy.
Mm-hmm. Weaknesses.
Weaknesses.
sunlight, right? That's it. We don't get into the crosses. We don't get into the garlic. We don't get into the Holy Eucharist type stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it's really just the sunlight thing.
And it's like, yes. Yeah.
Do you think of anything else?
No. Shoot.
They didn't even show him having to be invited into places.
Last week, or whenever, last episode, we gave Dracula 0 on his weakness. I feel like that's too much. I feel like he deserves at least a 1. I know that was a long time ago, and maybe it's not proper. But 0 to me in weakness score means you cannot function. You are like that balloon lady.
Yeah, we do need to have some wiggle room. All right, switch it to a 1.
Yeah. Wait, you have to play the thing for the changing score thing.
Score change. I don't have a song for that yet.
Well, you can do it right now.
Score change.
Here we go.
It won't have the music, but there you go.
This has been so long that I can't even erase this with my finger. All right, I'm just gonna.
You gotta lick your finger.
Anyway, so the weakness of Nosferatu.
I mean, he doesn't have that many weaknesses. Just the sunlight thing, really.
So really, it's like which is pretty big, but
big.
Not really if you just sleep or whatever.
Yeah,
but it is absolutely fatal, though.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely fatal. An 8?
I think it's lower than that. That's a pretty bad one.
Okay, 5.
5? Oh, shit.
Well, you bargained me to it.
No, man. Like, you can have it. You can have your score as your score. I was just debating you. That was me debating you. All right. Okay. Yeah, 5.
All right.
Because he misses half of life, and it's so dangerous. It's not like it makes him weak. It kills him.
Pack size.
Pack size. Nosferatu. See, Dracula had some minions. He had some brides of Dracula. You get other people. Nosferatu, only 1. We don't see any evidence of him making other vampires in this movie. Although we know that's part of the story. It's not here.
Yeah.
So you'd have to go with pack size 1.
Pack size 1.
Pack size 1.
Ready? 1.
It's a little chilly in here with the storm.
I know, that's why I just got my slippers on. It's freaking cold in here. The blizzard makes it cold in here. Damn.
Next category, spookiness.
Spookiness.
So we got 2 kinds of Nosferatu here. We got his regular, I'm Nosferatuing it up, talking to regular humans. And then we got his, more vampire-y, but basically still look the same. Like, his ears stick out a little more when he's Nosferatu, and his 2 little fangs grow a little longer.
Yeah.
But he has them in his normal phase, and his ears are still big and weird in his regular phase as well. His fingers get much longer. He grows those long, weird
I was going to say, what about
claws.
his fingers? Okay.
Because the claws, because of the black and white, it looks like his fingers just have longer, skinnier fingers of their own instead of claws. They don't look very scary. So, and the way he walks, they make him walk either with his hands up like this, up like a little chipmunk, which makes him not look scary, or with his hands down, and he sort of shambles along with just his arms hanging down. And it just makes him look like an idiot.
Yeah.
So,
there were a couple of shots that you see all the time that are like, okay, like, I guess that's kind of spooky.
Like, the main shot you usually see, like, if you're looking at shots of Nosferatu, is that shadow going up the staircase. That sort of thing.
I mean, like, more like, when he's, like, crouching over her or whatever, he kind of looks up, and it's like, that's the shot I think of.
Yeah. Where he still looks a little bit spooky.
Yeah, that's
it's like, when he's moving.
Even then.
Like, a still shot, he looks much creepier, but as soon as he starts moving, you're like, this guy just acts like a weirdo.
Yeah. Honestly, so I guess if I'm just putting myself in the position of this creature is after me, how scared am I?
Well, I mean, you're going to give it at least a 5 because it's a man.
No. Being a man only gives you 1 or 2 extra points.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Dude, if I knew about his powers, I'd be a little more afraid, I guess. I guess I'd be a 6.
Really? That much?
Ah, you're right. No, what do you think?
Like, I give him like a 2 or a 3.
Ah.
And only because if I saw a normal guy that looked like this, I wouldn't assume he's a vampire, but I'd still think it's creepy.
Well, see, I was factoring in knowing about his powers, but just for looking at him? All right.
I think he's creepier if you don't think he's a vampire. If you think he's a human that looks like that, is creepier than a vampire that looks like that. Honestly. So yeah.
Sorry to everyone out there who looks like that.
Yeah.
You're beautiful and we love you.
And that's for sure. So I'm going to stick with a 3.
Okay, I'll go 4.
All right.
Get the extra point.
All right, let's do some math.
No, I had to struggle to do the basic math in order for it to be a drink.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you said 3, and I said 4. Oh, this one's easy. 3.5, baby.
Yeah! Oh my god, this is terrible. Next category.
Kill factor.
Kill factor! Gore,
Did he kill
etc.
anybody?
Is there any cool gore? Is there anything cool that happened in this at all? No? We have to mention the bites. When he bites people, it looks like he bites them on the front of their neck on their Adam's apple.
Yeah.
Like one bite on each side of the Adam's apple.
And I said, don't question him. He knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing. So even the bite, they never show the bite or blood coming out or anything.
Yeah.
There's less gore than the golem. This is less terrifying than the golem.
And usually when I think of kill factor, I think of did I laugh or have fun when I watched any of the kills in the movie. Don't think I do.
You mostly just see people going like that sailor who's like, I'm very sick because I have been bitten by the vampire previously and now I die. Oh. No.
Oh my god, am I going to say like
0.
Zeros are so harsh, man. Are you sure you want 0?
There's better kill factor in Wuthering Heights.
That's it. Now that's interesting. That'll be a bonus episode.
See,
on our Patreon.
Just watching him beat that guy with the fire poker is way better than anything that happened in this movie.
I love Wuthering Heights.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a kill
That'd
factor
be amazing.
0.
We could do,
no gore.
We could
no
do
cool.
Heathcliff as the monster. That'd be awesome.
Do a special romance series.
Holy shit!
Romantic monsters.
What? I'm trying to think of other one. Okay, if you can think of a romantic monster. Similar to a Heathcliff type thing. But not something that's based, you know what I'm saying? You don't want that.
We'd have to do like a whole Heathcliff series of Heathcliff's down generations of movies. Including that weird remake from the 90s.
That's the best one. The problem with the Wuthering Heights movies is that they always stop it when Catherine dies. And I'm like, what? You're missing the whole point of the whole story if you stop that.
Welcome to Monster Vault, the Wuthering Heights podcast. So, kill factor, okay. I'm giving it a 0.
I'm giving it 1 just because I can't do 0 because he kills people.
Not in any interesting way. That's right.
Ooh. You know what?
You can even think of lots of silent movies that have way more gore than this.
I'm giving him a 0.
Even ones with no monsters in it. Non-horror movies had better gore.
0. Screw you. Screw you, Nosferatu.
Okay, Sean.
Location. See, now this category is usually, is it scary to you because of where he is? Like, is he close to you? Is he not? But he's just not scary anyway. But even then, if there's only one of him.
Yeah.
And he's up in his weird spooky castle mostly, but maybe he'll come to your town and, I don't know, spook you or something.
He'll touch you with his shadows. And make you dance on a balcony.
But in theory, he can come to your town because he might want a house in your town.
That's true.
So, just like as Frankenstein could go anywhere in the world, so can Nosferatu.
Yeah.
And he looks apparently human enough that people don't freak out. Do any humans actually see him in this movie?
I feel like I did not see a single extra in this whole movie.
Yeah. Like there
were no townspeople.
There was townspeople running around, but not in any scenes he's in.
Yeah.
Like, remember they were chasing the real estate agent, and there's a lot of people in the inn.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't seem to ever interact with regular humans, so don't know. So technically, location, we have to technically give him, a 10, but It's the only score he's going to get because he can go anywhere.
Hmm.
Because it doesn't even, do those regular things of he can only cross water because he's a vampire. They don't get into any of that. He does get on a boat. He does get on a raft across water, but they don't say he has to. So
he can
go wherever he wants, whenever he wants, technically, yeah.
Well, I'm going to say that it's a little less than a 10 because he needs, like, all those coffins of dirt and stuff.
Oh, yeah, you're right. He's got to carry that under his arm.
That is an encumbrance.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say 6.
Agreed, 6.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Would you fuck it?
Now, here's one that we said yesterday, but we didn't want to get into it until we were here. Would you fuck it? No. No.
Just like unequivocally.
There's nothing to be done there. It is just it's not even because he's gross and monstrous. He's just the worst loser. It makes you think of like the guy at the end of the bar that's like, "My lady."
Yeah, you don't want to fuck that.
No. And the way he moves, you're like, he's got no moves at all. Like if he wouldn't know what to do with you. There's no appeal there.
Yeah, and I don't remember ever seeing him like smack on anyone.
Mm-hmm. And can we talk about the body stuffing in this movie? How, like, half of the characters would have pillows or rags stuffed inside their costumes to make them look puffy.
It's weird.
Not fat, but puffy. Like they were trying to give themselves big chests or something.
Yeah.
Especially in the real estate agent, he seemed to be like a round little troll. Nosferatu didn't have it, except for he had padding around his shoulders.
Yeah, he had
to make
like
him,
a hump or
yeah,
whatever.
to make him a weird hump. And the only person that didn't have it was Hutter. And his wife, Ellen.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone else had like weird pillows jammed in their shirts for some reason. It was very odd. Very odd. So no. Would you fuck it a 0?
A 0?
A 0.
Holy smokes.
Is there any... Come on.
I'm gonna put
what are you going to give it?
Here. Just chill. Alright, he is humanoid, which is a bonus. I don't think he would be great in bed. I'm not naturally attracted to him. I will give him a 1. Just for being humanoid, you get a 1 from me. Because that's how low my standards are.
You get a 1 for being human.
My checklist is very stringent. Human.
Well, that's the end of our categories.
Alright, wait, shit, I forgot to keep adding it up.
Oh, well, we don't have the final score yet. Now it's lame parts and improvements. I mean, it was really lackluster all around.
Yes.
Like, I feel like they could have done something if they just did the Dracula movie. Like, it almost feels like they were like, well, we're not going to do Dracula, so we'll kind of do this lackluster thing instead. They didn't just change the names, they changed so much of the story and things that, I don't know. I think they'd sort of given up at that point.
Well, what was the impediment? Like, I understand that the widow or something didn't want it to go. Mm-hmm. But could they have paid her off or something?
They didn't.
Okay.
They didn't. Maybe she just didn't like the Germans. I don't know.
I guess, sure.
Maybe she just did want more money. But, yeah.
If you know, send us a comment or email.
Maybe just as far as acting, the acting was not that great. Even for silent movie acting, you can do some really good silent movie acting. It's the only good part for Nosferatu is they would do the black circles around his eyes and do them very, very dark, and they found a way of making his eyes reflect, so they just reflected all white every now and then. That would be a little bit spooky.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of when I was like, there's certain shots that it's a bit spooky.
A little bit spooky. But overall, the acting is just really ham-fisted and terrible, even for silent films, where you literally can't say anything and it's all expressive. It was just that Hutter just seemed manic the whole time.
That's what I was just thinking.
The crazy smiling and grimacing. And there wasn't a lot of dialogue in the version we saw. Like, there was no straight, like, person saying a line, another person saying a line. It would just say, what happens now? And, like, Hutter's glad to see her. And then he would grimace and go, and then sort of embrace her awkwardly. So he needed to do more acting, and he just didn't. It was just not great.
Maybe he was doing too much acting.
Not great. The lame parts and improvements, don't make the movie.
Hasn't how it must have been remade by now. It's been 100 years.
You would think, right? Like,
Nobody?
just remake that, because it's in the public domain already. Maybe that's what needs to be done. Just straight up redo that story,
I would like,
but
that's
better.
that's what I think.
Mm.
We need a 100-year anniversary Nosferatu.
Mm. And a period piece, do it in 1920s.
And who would play Nosferatu? Lawrence Fishburne.
Okay. All right. That's a hot take.
Sorry.
All right.
What do you think of that, guys?
Only one thing left.
Final score.
Final score.
Final score.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't forget about it this time, so we're improving.
It's written down there now, so now I don't forget it.
Okay. Alright, the final score for Nosferatu is 20.
20.
And for comparison, you want to know Dracula.
Yes.
It's 20.5.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, he was slightly more fuckable.
Oh, yeah, and he got hit hard on the weaknesses, because he had everything going against him.
Yeah.
He was the weaknesses 10 guy.
Yes.
Or weaknesses 0 guy.
And
Yeah.
then I convinced you to make him a 1. Because he can stand and move and stuff.
Yes.
I don't know.
Whew.
Yeah. Well, good to be back. Happy New Year. It's probably a few months into the year by now. But
By the time you see this, yes.
Happy New Year.
Because at this point right now, Kindred is still coming out. You still have to finish editing Dracula, and then this one, and then 2 more coming up for the Vampire series. I won't say which one is next because I don't know which of the 2 is coming out next.
He's withholding it, getting off on it.
But there'll be the 2 other
Look at
most
him getting
influential Dracula movies, well, vampire movies anyway, that changed the way that people think about everything these days. Really put a stain on horror.
Oh my god, are we gonna have to watch Twilight?
No!
Oh god.
We are not doing that.
No.
Movies after the 2000s don't happen. Except for Cabin in the Woods. We'll keep Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of fun. Oh my god, and when was that remake of the Sleepover Massacre?
Oh my god! Slumber Party Massacre. Oh,
yes.
The new one? So good.
So good.
So good.
You should definitely watch the other ones. I mean, you don't have to, but
the
it
movie
definitely
is so
adds
much better.
a lot
Yeah, if you watch the
remake,
Slumber Party
if
Massacre
you've seen
1 and 2?
I think there's only 2.
Yeah, 1 and 2.
Slumber Party Massacre
So
remake.
good. Oh, I would
Amazing.
start going on about all the
Let's
cool stuff
have
in it, but
fun.
I want you to go watch it. It is fantastic.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Oh, very
And
fun.
at first you're like, maybe, and then you're like, no.
Every part
I
of it
get
just
it.
gets better and better.
It gets
and then
better and better.
like halfway through the movie, you're like, oh my god, more!
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
It's good. I mean, is it perfect? No.
No.
But it's very good.
Mm-hmm.
Go see it. Have fun.
And that's it for the night, everybody. Say goodbye,
Bye, Grant.
Grant. And this is Ripley. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Let's turn off the shit. Let's turn off the shit.
Why don't you come into our monster ball?